Oh, hello everybody. This screen is black. Hang on a second. Sorry. I'm a little out of sorts today. Hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. It is outstanding to have you. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Chris, otherwise known as Wolfie, and we are live once again with Massively Overpowered's OPTV, and we are back in Final Fantasy XIV. But this time around we're doing something a little bit different, a little divergent than I normally would do. Most of the time we're, here for either like a seasonal event or some combat content and stuff like that. But this time around, I kind of wanted to just, take advantage of something unique, at least unique to this game. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a mode like this in any other MMORPG. But let me explain what's going to happen. Today, I want to check out what's referred to as the exploration mode. Now, this mode, or explorer mode, I should say. That's the specific name for it. The idea here is you basically can just enter a dungeon that you choose. Hey, Doc Graves, thank you so much for the follow. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's awesome to have you. Appreciate that support, my friend. Hope you enjoy your visit, and hope we'll see you some more, too. So Explorer mode basically lets you just enter a dungeon without any monsters whatsoever in it. You can perform actions, you can summon a training dummy to engage attacks and actually engage your limit breaks and stuff like that. It's really, really unique. Excuse me, I had to get a sippy there. Unfortunately, this does also kind of limit how many dungeons are available. They didn't allow this for all of the dungeons in this game, and there are a lot. There are now 90 levels worth of dungeons, not including what else they're gonna add. In addition to the regular expansion dungeons, they got the post expansion dungeons that are part of the regular main story that is added on in 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 patches, stuff like that. So they weren't able to provide this for everything. For example, all of the dungeons that are part of the base Realm Reborn and the post-game patches, those aren't available. The vast majority of Stormblood is not available, with exception of the Aerie and the Great Gilbo Library, the hard version. And almost all of Stormblood, with the exception of the Gimlet Dark. The vast majority of it, and I believe this is when the feature was introduced, or at some point when the feature was introduced, was part of the Shadowbringers expansion. So all of the story dungeons, or most of the story dungeons, I should say, there's a couple that aren't there. Anamnesis and Eider, Amatoya's Relic, and Pagotha, those are all included. So your choices are kind of limited, but this does provide an opportunity that it's just, like I said, I don't think it's ever been done in any other MMORPG before. It's really, really interesting. And so, I kind of wanted to just look around and show things off, right? Because most of the time when you're going through dungeons, your camera is your camera is angled like this, right? Kind of pulled back and angled down at the ground so you can see whatever, markers of pain are painted along the ground. So you don't really get a chance to see. I mean, you obviously would have to aim your camera forward to sort of look at what's ahead of you, but you don't really get a chance to see the sights. So 20% of the time you're doing this, and then the rest of the 80% of the time you're this, zoomed out and angled down, so you can not get hurt, which makes sense, obviously. But it doesn't let you appreciate the area that you're in. To best illustrate that fact, I want to check out Dawn Meg. This is one of the, even outside of this explorer mode, this is an extremely pretty dungeon. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and if you've never seen Dawn Meg before, well, you're in for a treat, legitimately. So, basically, this little icons here allows me to summon a striking dummy, And then if I really wanted to, I could just engage either limit breaks level 1, 2, or 3. I'm sorry. I never get to use that. Like 90% of the time I never get to engage that ability. So being able to actually see my own LB3 as a dancer is kind of nice. Have a striking dummy scrubbed and brought to my tent. Yes, indeed. Jeeves, bring about my striking dummy. I feel like giving to Don Meg. Sorry for the bad accent. Hello, Moderate Peril. Wonderful to see you, my friend. Welcome. So this is Don Meg. As you can see, it's kind of incredible looking. Like, just... This is a land of the Fae. Like, this is literally fairy world. I won't say too much about the story for anybody watching who happens to have not gone through the Shadowbringer story. But, this place is just... It very much leans into all of the fairyland tropes, right? And also, the way it's laid out, if you check the map real quick, it kind of looks a little bit like a, at least this first portion, it looks a little bit like a mini golf course. Okay, this is one of my favorite portions right here. Oh no, I think they're already hanging. Okay. Maybe? Wait, let me walk through this trellises and see what happens. Yeah, these are already engaged, but like when you first go through this portion, like these flowers, they just sort of like summon and drape down as you're walking down this hallway. It's really, really nice. The new Porta Decimania gives you an LB3 at the end, but you have to fight the other DPS for it. Yeah, I never win that fight. Nobody wants the Dancer LB3. Nobody. Everybody wants the single target LB3, so like if you got a Samurai or a Ninja or a Dragoon, they get LB3 priority. And even if I'm, like, one of the only... And even if the party is full of, like, ranged physical DPS, like, they probably wants the Machinist LB3 over mine. Which is a shame, because, I mean, if you ask me, frankly, enemy death by lilies... You've got to be kidding me that people don't want their enemies to fall dead because lilies exploded into slicey bits. Like, seriously. Honestly. I don't know. That's just me. I'm biased. I love the Dancer class very, very much. So, you know. That's just how I am. Alright. So, we'll kind of pass through this section here. I believe yeah, this is the, So this is the first boss area. And we'll continue on to the Atelier. Which kind of continues on with this whole, like, just... This whole thing just appears to you after the main... After that boss fight. Actually, we kind of stepped forward a little bit. But that's okay. Oh yeah, this is sort of like links up to the boss area, and then this whole thing opens up. Like, just... It's really pretty, right? It's extremely pretty. Let me head into first person view to sort of like appreciate. Just appreciate this. I mean, it's so pretty. And of course you get to walk across water, which is really nice. Naturally, as you do, because you're in a fantasy world. Into Don Talk. If the names of the areas didn't give you any sort of indicator, and I don't think this is necessarily too much of a spoiler to point this out, the fairies that you encounter in this expansion, they're not the Hot Topic kind of fairies, or like the really pretty Trapper Keeper art fairies. These are the Tuatha De Danann type of fairies. These Fae people are brutal. They are not to be messed with. It's really... This place is just kind of... Wow. again, this is, I don't really get a chance to look around too much because I'm charging pell-mell through the hallways and into the rooms. So, you know, there's enemies that just, you kind of come up and you farm, and then I don't really get to look up at, like, for example, this ceiling of water, which is incredible looking. It's so pretty. Of course, there are sections that are blocked off to you regardless, whether you're in Explorer mode or not. They just, you know, they're walled off for story reasons. You're going one very specific way. But, yes, this is just... Again, even when you're looking forward like you normally would, moving through the dungeon, like, this is all very scenic, right? It's all extremely pretty. Okay, and there is the final area, the throne room, the last place where you fight the final boss of this particular dungeon. Actually, a little unremarkable, all things considered, owing to the fact that, you know, it's a fight arena. They don't dress it up too terribly much, but it's really lovely. Also, the music is nice, right? I mean, the music is very, very pretty. So that was Dawn Meg. What other one would I like to show off? Or do I want to check out myself? Malika's Well and Mount Gul. Malika's Well is kind of not really interesting, in my opinion, even just going through it. Mount Gulg is story related. I'll leave that out. I feel like Anamnesis Aniter needs to be visited, because this is... Actually, you know what? Let me read the little blurb for this one. Deep in the Tempest, deeper still than the Phantom Amarat, lies what remains of Aniter's ancient edifices. It is known to an unexplored corner of this bed of knowledge that the Scions now travel in hopes that what has long slumbered, forgotten, may be brought to the surface once more. Vague enough, I think. But, yeah, so this is basically like an old college sort of thing. So you start off here. It just kind of like carries you forward into this entrance area. So like, again, most of the time when I'm in this dungeon or you run into this dungeon, everybody's like charging into the opening here, right? Which makes sense, obviously. So I don't get to, I don't really see all of this stuff that's around us. That's not something I get to, or below us for that matter. It's really, really pretty. Also, the music in this dungeon absolutely slaps. If you ask me, it's a jam. Absolutely a jam. So here we are at Anamnesis. This is it. This is the school. This is the building. I don't know if it's a school or if it's a research facility or a combination of the two, but like, it's really, really cool looking, isn't it? That's lovely. I do like the this type of architecture that the Ascians put together. And if you're wondering why we're like surrounded by coral and everything like that, this is all underwater. How are we moving underwater? Well, magical nonsense. That's how. I won't elaborate much further than that. But just know magical nonsense makes this happen. A great deal of hand-wavium was cast upon this place. So, yes, let's move on through and into the school proper. So it looks kind of decrepit and nasty, right? Obviously. I mean, it's a building that's underwater. It's not going to survive a lot of that without some sort of damage. But then you get inside, and, you know, things are kind of different, right? It's a little shinier, a little nicer. And all of this stuff. Look at this. The Archive Eternal. That's... I actually don't... It's funny because I don't actually recall the names of each individual section, simply because, like, again, you're not focused on what's around you necessarily, you're just more focused on, you're sort of laser focused on the things that are in front of you. So you do not get options or opportunities to just observe and take it in. And I just love the Art Deco stylings here, right? It's kind of incredible. This sort of just very, yeah, I mean, Art Deco, that's its whole vibe, right? That's so pretty. Okay, let's move along, shall we? Actually, I'll go ahead and engage sprint to zip around this segment. So yeah, this place has been long abandoned, obviously, but the floors are still very shiny, which is nice. That's a nice touch. Hard for dust to get down here, I guess. Whee! Okay, and this is the final... Wow. I say wow because, again, this is... I mean... Technically speaking, most of the time I'm looking at things from here, right? I just see the floor. So much floor. I don't really see all of this. Like for example, the ceiling is really high here, right? It's incredible. Yes, I do have Peloton as well. Yep, that's right. But yeah, that's it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. They really designed some gorgeous locations. Alright, where to next? Matoya's Relic is a personal favorite. I think I'll visit that. Done this dungeon numerous times. Enjoy it every time it comes up. For a couple of reasons. One, well actually, for one reason. It's just all goofy Halloween vibes. I'll show you what I mean here. I'll stop talking for a moment and let us enjoy the music real quick. It's so good. It's so good. It's the whole Danny Elfman bibbidi bobbidi boo kind of thing. I love it so very much. I love it so very much. It's so good. Alright. So this dungeon is cordoned off into 3 different segments. We will go to the earthly portal first, because this I think is one of the most unique. Actually, no, not the earthly. The fiery portal is the most unique. The earthly portal is pretty nice looking too, actually. This is, it looks like it's mostly, like, research materials, so this is like a literal laboratory. I don't know if this beats out Calcabrina and the Anti-Tower. No? I mean... Yeah, no, the Calcabrina theme is classic. You have to appreciate that. It's a reference to the old game, so that's always going to have a bit of a step up. But just this whole Sorcerer's Apprentice, just, it's so good. It's so good. It's got that bum 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 cadence, and it's just whimsical. Like, it's trying to go boo at you. Like, it's so lovely. I love it. Actually, cutting through here now, this actually is not too interesting. These are mechanics that, you know, happen in the dungeon. I'll not go into it too much further than that. But, yeah, so, all things considered, the earthly portal is okay. Not too bad. Good morning, Deviant Fish. How are you, my friend? Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. We're doing a little visual tour of the dungeons of this game. Or the ones that I'm allowed to visit, anyway. We are here in Matoya's Relic. I actually just didn't realize until now these are all books. Those are books. I thought those were like... Those are books, right? Yeah, I mean, well, obviously these are, but like, are those all books? I thought those were all bricks. But I think this is just, yeah, stairs and books and, wow. Damn. I mean, Matoya, she has a couple of books. Alright. Water portal now. And, the first thing you notice if you decide to look down is there's just, I mean, it's a very long drop. Like, this whole thing is just a big, long drop down into other locations. And engage. Whee! And like, as you go along, you literally have to like throw yourself off of cliffs in order to progress. Again, kind of nasty, which makes sense. I mean, this place is, you know, soaked with water. It's actually kind of... It actually feels like it's humid in here, too, right? Like, it's kind of... Feels like it'd be kind of sticky. Any trust can be a walking tour if you want. The NPCs are incapable of getting mad at you. This is very true. You're not wrong, Toaster Master. But, there is something to be said about being alone to your own goofy devices when you're doing it this way. Only way to see the Heavensward dungeons this way is to use the GC squadrons or have an understanding pre-made. Yeah, exactly. Or you can go into them unsynced. That's another option, but then you also still have to fight. Now, while the rest of this part of the dungeon is kind of it's alright. The actual, like, fight arena for the second boss is really, really cool. This is actually really neat looking. And the fight itself is actually one of the most interesting of the entire series, of this dungeon, in my opinion. It's actually really, really cool. But now we're going to get to the really neat portion of this dungeon, in my opinion. And that is the fiery portal section. You'll understand why if you've never seen this before. So we go into the fiery portal. You assume, you know, it's going to be hot. It's going to be fiery. You are probably not suspecting you will find rainbow lava, however. That might be a surprise. Look at this place. It looks like a psychedelic candy factory. It's so cool. Just look at this. Look at this. It's amazing that you can't just be allowed to stop and marvel at all of this. Like, just... It's so neat. It's kind of astonishing, right? And you got these lava lamp bubbles and stirrers and things. Like, it's so... It's incredible. This is one of the reasons why I love this dungeon. Well, another one of many reasons why I love this dungeon, frankly. It's got just so much character. It's full of character. And full of color, which, you know, I enjoy when a game's palette isn't just variants of brown or brown-green. Or gray. Like, there is not much gray to be had here. Whoops, I didn't mean to engage that skill, but okay, it's fine. I will just put on Shield Samba, that's no big deal. And, yeah, at the end of it all, there is this lava segments that split open, and you see this huge cauldron. It's so good. Just this whole apparatus is so neat. It's so cool. Okay, we're done here. I love this place. I can't help it. I can't help it. It's so good. It's one of my favorite dungeons of the expansion. Like, the story leading up to the point was really interesting. But, I was not expecting brightly colored candy Halloween whimsy when I was headed to what I was going to do there. Okay, where to next? I think we... Well, the Gimlet Dark, I was actually talking about gray and depressing earlier. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We can go to all of the Endwalker dungeons. Gosh, I feel like... Ooh, I kind of feel like I shouldn't. You know what? I think I... Oh, wait. No. I will go to Smileton. There we go. That's our next destination. I will go to Smileton because at this point it feels like the developers are kind of like showing off in a couple of ways. So yeah. This is Smileton. This, you start off going down an elevator and you arrive at the MC Escher world. and you got, again, another bop. Like, the game don't stop with the bops, man. The music is just so good. And then, you know, of course, obviously you transform, or teleport your way through and around. It's just insane. Like, I can't imagine. And look how far this all goes, right? Like, you're, again, going through some pretty specific corridors, right? This is all very guided. You're going here, and you're going here, like... But they kind of just put out all this extra stuff out there. Like, it's incredible looking. It actually goes further than that. Like, it just reaches out, and it's obscured by fog, obviously. But, like, it's so remarkable. So, walking our way through the MC Escher world. Till we get here. And I think we have one more portal before we go to the boss area. Yeah, I think so. So now we're just kind of like walking on the sides of buildings because that's just what happens when you're in Smileton. You walk around on the sides of incredible looking buildings that are kind of conjoined and stacked and arranged because just madness, absolute sheer madness. And so now we can head into one of these buildings. We move from the Smile Port onward through the many ways. And here we are now at the Block of Dreams. So it's a bit of a shame they actually... Oh wait, there, it did animate there, but like, as you're approaching, like, portions of this place spin into position. Like, it's kind of incredible looking. Yeah, see, there, we had something move around. Again, just complete nuts. Just absolutely incredible looking. Like, this whole thing is just it screws with your head in the best way. It's so cool. I actually didn't notice that thing was just constantly spinning until just now. Okay, come around here. So, engage our sprint really quick. And the Peloton. Oh, we have some more spinning stuff. Okay, yep. Just the moving music hall. Just look at this. Look, they didn't need to add any of this. This is unnecessary. It's completely not needed, but they did it. They're like, why not? Let's go on ahead. Let's just make this whole thing completely crazy. Which is actually kind of funny because, like, the second boss fight of this dungeon is, it's alright. It's not remarkable. So, like, you're going through all this visual impressive craziness, and then you stop here at the welcome wheel for what's kind of all, by all intents and purposes, a not particularly distinct fight. So you feel like, oh, that's a bit of a letdown. And then you come here into the under construction, and like, oh, okay, so the actual things are disengaged, but like you can see if this dungeon was actually live and kicking, you would see all these arms are like literally like printing out these blocks, the sections of the floor. Like there's arms that are moving around and just lasers firing and things being built as you're walking through this area. Actually, this dungeon was showed off, or yeah, I did go through this dungeon when I was doing roulette, stream with some roulettes about a couple of months or so. Month got hacked. Happy Street. I didn't just realize it's called Happy Street. But yeah, it's just crazy looking. And again, it just sort of like it reaches out, just sort of stretches out to different sections. It's, I mean, you know, things are under construction, so it's not complete looking, but it's still neat looking, right? Also, I only just now realized that there are like some heated sections here. That's not something I really noticed before. Okay. What other one should I do? One more, and then I think, let's see. I don't want to do Gimlet. I feel like we could check out the Katana Revel. This is one of those, alright, yeah, actually, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, the Katana Revel is a great one to show off if you've not seen it before. But yeah, this one is, it's nice and Aztec Palace. It's really cool. Also, again, music is great. Just look at this place. Like, it feels extremely just like the specks in the air kind of make you feel like you probably shouldn't breathe this in. It's incredible looking. And I actually never really get to appreciate this room because the very first fight is, I don't want to say it's got like incredibly challenging mechanics, but there are things you have to pay attention to. So, you know, you're not afforded a whole lot of time to like just sort of soak it in. But just these dark, incredible looking ruins, like the amount of wear that's on these stones is really, really cool. And this snake motif that's really, like, again, absolutely Aztec looking. I love that. And the designs on the walls too, actually. That's, again, something I never really got a chance to appreciate. I mean, you sort of get the ambience, but like, just being able to sit there and sort of look at it, like, closely look at it. Tomb Raider much? Yeah, seriously, right? Exactly. Yeah, for real, absolutely just Tomb Raider the dungeon. And so it comes to this fight arena that's just ahead of us. Kind of dash on through to it. Put those away. There we go. Didn't need to have my glaives out. So again, fight has a lot of mechanics that you need to pay attention to. Most of the time, I'm like kind of like looking at this or looking over here briefly. So I don't really get a chance to see everything that's around me. And wow, like the floor is actually interesting. For some reason, I honest to goodness thought that there was just a pit here. I didn't know that there was actually like floor. I mean, you're not able to like go there. You can't jump into it, but never. There's little weird things that you just don't pay attention to because you're too busy focused on moving through the dungeon. Now, I think this portion of this dungeon is a little bit near. I mean, it's a cave, so there's only so much you could do with caverns in terms of visual interest. Unless you get really, really nuts with regards to, like, the features. But most of this looks appropriate. This looks natural. There's some bioluminescence here, which is nice. I always like to see, like, bioluminescent areas in the cave. I appreciate that the Warrior of Light will not throw himself off a cliff, no matter how much you try to make them. Yes. They have business to tend to. Oh, this is water. Again, not something I noticed before until just now. This is all underwater. I mean, obviously I noticed I was walking through water in this section, but not something I paid attention to just moving through at normal. These stalactites are interesting looking. Alright, so then it comes to this section. Alright. So we're nearing the boss arena, I think? Yes. And yeah, there's lore on the walls. There's lore on the walls. I will keep my head down. I forgot there's lore on the walls. But after you go through here, I mean, you're actually afforded. All right, I remembered why I wanted to show this dungeon off. Because this is one of the dungeons, even through regular runs, where you're allowed to take in a bit of a vista. Just look at that. I think I remember when I first ran this dungeon through during, like, my leveling up in Shadowbringers, like, I remember the party I was with just stopping. We paused for a moment because just stepping into with just all of this, like, it's incredible looking. Absolutely gorgeous. Rounding a corner into that beauty it's hard to not stop for just a brief second. And now I got a chance to actually appreciate all the other stuff that's around me. The waterfalls and the architecture and the rocks. As we're just kind of like flinging ourselves off of waterfalls and fighting enemies as we go along in this point. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Also, probably stupendously loud, you know. People are like, oh, I want to live next to a waterfall. And you're like, no, you've never been near a waterfall. They're really, really hecking loud. Like, you genuinely, you think you want to be near a waterfall, but you don't. They're impressive, but, you know, it's also huge amounts of rushing water. That's noisy. Just look at the greenery, though, man. Just, again, like Welsh Fox said earlier, it's Tomb Raider, baby. I like the ones, and I like the waterfalls, and, like, I want waterfalls like the ones in Naboo. Salt. Alright. Time for fun now. Whee! Do a little bit of Disney's Tarzan and slide into the final boss arena. Which, again, don't get a lot of chance to see too much around us, so this is really, really pretty. Gorgeous. Absolutely. And there's where we came from. Just go to first person mode and appreciate, right? It's so pretty. So pretty. I love it. Okay, let's get on out of here. I think we'll show off one more. Let's let into the final boss arena. Yeah, it's weird. It's not a rival that you usually get very often. Okay, let's see, where to next? Let's see, there is a couple in Heavensward. I think we wanted to, I wanted to check out the Great Goba Library. I don't think the lore pieces that are in the dungeon are active during exploration mode, but we'll find out. Okay. So, so this place is just full of atmosphere. I mean, the opening piano just looming behind you. I actually never really get to walk around this section, too. I mean, there's not much here. It's a library. There's just desks, but portions of this dungeon that I would never really get to see because we're all running down this way. The School of Phantasmagoria. Yeah, I don't think the lore pieces are here, yeah, because I remember there was one here. There's like little books that are scattered around. Oh gosh, this place is actually really high. Oh wow. I actually, honest to goodness, never really noticed that. So when can we get to explore the trial and raid levels next? I mean, the trials are just, you know, they're arenas. They're not really too interesting. They're thematic and... Oh wait, there is the books. Okay, I stand corrected. They're thematic, but I don't know. I mean, they'd be good for screenshots, sure. But then again, you could just go into one of the older trial sections unsynced and smirk the boss and then take your picture then. The raid sections, though, being able to go into Explorer mode in some of the raids would be really cool. The little books get upstaged by the big book that's a jerk. Once upon a time, there lived a free-spirited boy who loved to play in the forest with his pet chocobo, but the forests were fraught with peril, and one day a band of brigands ambushed the boy, spiriting him away to the harsh mountains of the north. Yet there be dragons there, and as they rode up the mountain path, one of those majestic beasts came swooping down from the heavens. The boy's chocobo reared in fright, sending the boy tumbling down the mountainside to his nigh certain demise. And yet the gods saw fit to spare his life, if only meagerly so. As he lay there, battered and broken, all manner of foul beasts drew near, threatening to rip him limb from limb. Just as the boy was making his peace with the 12, another dragon appeared. A smaller creature, yes, but even a small dragon is a fearsome opponent indeed. It was then that the strangest thing happened. With a mighty roar, the dragon turned upon the circling beasts and spit forth a burst of flames that reduced them to so much ash, saving the poor boy's life. With what half seemed a smile, the dragon approached the wounded child and gently raised him up to sit upon his back, and the two flew off to the gods nowhere. I would have never been able to read that, let alone read it aloud. Like, seriously. That's not something you're allowed to do when you're running this dungeon, except when you're doing this with trusts. If you're running this with people, like, nah, you don't get to stop to read. No reading in dungeons, only combat. This place is just so neat. I kind of like enjoy the visual trickery here with like the fog that's sort of like locally centered around you. Oh yeah, this one is kind of a little bit, I don't want to say it's R, but it's a hard PG-13. So we'll move on. Fun fight here. Not really remarkable as far as visuals in terms of the arena itself, but a fun fight nonetheless. And then you come down here. It's not going to show it off, but like as you walk through here, these candelabras all light up. Which, I mean, I am a huge sucker for the Castlevania nonsense, and this dungeon, I should say, does have some Castlevania nonsense. It's not Hook Manor levels of Castlevania nonsense, but it's close. Come around here through the ink blots. So these are ink blots. I'm pretty sure that's ink. About 90% certain that's ink, probably. Over the Horizon Redux. We never go into this room, so I never saw this book. Hang on a second. It is widely known that the Mamul is let's try that again. Wow. It is widely known that the Mamul-Jah boasts one of the most impressive indigenous societies to be found in the New World. It would be a mistake, however, to view the Mamul-Jah as a single, uniform people. A careful analysis of documents brought back by explorers reveals that the Mamul-Jah are more accurately described as a federation or alliance of numerous distinctly related tribes, each with distinguishing physical feature characteristics. That's the word I used. That's fine. We're moving on. The brown-scaled Hubigo with their distinctively long combs, the large-eyed blue-scaled Bunewa, and the mottled Dopro. It is further said that although Mamul-Jah rarely marry outside of their own tribes, such unions do occur on the occasion of certain religious observances, and are known to produce two-headed offspring that are hailed as blessed siblings, and groomed to be warlords from a very young age. Indeed, the Autarch, ruler of all Mamul-Jah kind, is known to be one of them. Ah, that's not lore I've experienced up until just now. I literally never read that book before. Like, it's totally new stuff to me. Okay, more fogs, more books, more dank, dusty stuff. This thing. I actually got turned around. I was sort of like going in the wrong direction because I was just like, ooh, what's down here? Nothing, that's what. There's a reason people don't go this direction. Ah, yes. I've heard about this book, but I never actually read it. The Culinary Application of Goblins. For those who don't know, goblins are basically rock monsters with, like, whippy tentacles for legs and arms. They're horrifying. From mutton to morel, oyster to Orberon, eel to eft, Eorzea does not want for delicious and delightful ingredients to stimulate the senses of any culinarian. And yet, how is it we came to know that the flesh of these creatures would pleasure our palate so? The answer is self-evident. For every familiar ingredient, someone, at some point in our history, first took it upon him or herself to eat it. And yet the answer raises another question. What wondrous flavors and textures remain undiscovered, just waiting for a brave soul to discover them? And so it was that I took it upon myself to investigate the culinary suitability of goblin flesh. Why goblins, you ask? To which I say, good reader, why not goblins? The above passage was composed by my elder brother. Sadly, they were the last words he ever wrote, for, as he soon discovered, goblin feelers are poisonous. Armed with this knowledge and vowing that his sacrifice would not go to waste, I resolved to carry up his life's work. I mean, the author, even though they died presumably in the process of their investigation, they got a point. I mean, how many people would look at a lobster and be like, yeah, I want that on my face, please. I would like to eat that. I mean, you saw that thing crawling around and you're probably like horrified if you were like never seen it before. I wasn't expecting a snuff film in Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, this game takes some twists and turns with its writing, my friend. It does some stuff. So yeah, that's yeah, again, the guy has a point. Like, nobody knew that lobsters were delicious unless somebody somewhere decided to pick one of the horrifying little beasts up and throw it in a pot of water to see what happens. Proceedings of the Council of Magi. Proceedings of the 284th Convocation of the Amdapori Council of Magi. A vote was called to settle upon a name for a potent and newly fashioned healing spell. Being that said healing spell was an augmentation of Kiraga, erst the most potent healing spell, the following names were proposed by the council: Kirago, Kiraza, Kiraja, Kiragura. Finding the aforewritten names duly lacking in gravity, and the existing hierarchy of spell names needlessly abstruse, the council did vote by a margin of 17 to 3 to do away the existing naming conventions entirely and adopt a new system of numerical spell names, as writ below, to be used henceforth. Cure 1, Cure 2, Cure 3, Cure 4. It is recorded. Oh, so that's clever. Okay. All right. It just that's I love that. The old Amdapori Magi providing information about the names of curing spells. That's cool. Because the healing spells were only turned like Cure, Cura, Curaga, and stuff like that. Fira, Firaga. They only turned into that in like later Final Fantasy games. That naming convention came later. They always were in the classic RPGs. Cure 1, Cure 2, Cure 3, Cure 4. Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3. You know, stuff like that. They had the numerical naming conventions. So that's a fun little. A literary analysis of The Boy and the Dragon Gay. Many scholars believe that the popular children's tale of The Boy and the Dragon Gay is, in fact, an adaptation of an older Ishgardian myth, one telling of which is transcribed below for the reader's reference. In a bleak village on the outskirts of Kurthis, there lived a shepherd boy, poor but kind of heart. One day, a band of ruffians came and spirited the boy away, seeking to deliver him to a slave trader in hopes of earning some coin. No sooner had they left the village than they were set upon by a great dragon. Down from the heavens it swooped, tearing the blackguards limb from limb and charring their carcasses with hell's fire. But it was by no mere chance that the great worm had found them. No, the boy had befriended the great worm some time ago, and it had sensed the danger to its dear friend. Alas, in the chaos the boy had tumbled from the mountains and lay half dying at the base of the cliff. Seeing its dear friend laying there, battered and beaten, the dragon gave unto the child of its blood. So it was that the boy took to the skies as the worm's minion, flying off to only where the gods know where. Ah, that's neat. Little layers and stuff. Again, didn't the Amdapori exist 2 calamities ago? I wonder how their custom survived all that time. That's a good question. I assume probably their writings. I mean, not everything that the Amdapori had was brought to ruin during the calamity that they were a part of. I think that was the 4th Umbral Calamity? I forget which one. But, I mean, there's still some pieces of the Amdapori and the Mach that survive. A lot of the ancient civilizations, actually. The Amdapori, the Mach, the Allegans. A lot of Alleghenian stuff. Okay. I think that's the last one I really wanted to... Whoops, that's the wrong button. I think it's the last one I wanted to check out, because I don't believe the Eyrie... Well, maybe the Eyrie is kind of interesting looking. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Nothing in the Stormblood. Or Stormblood, in the Realm Reborn. Yeah, you know what? Why, let's go. Why not? Let's visit the Eyrie real quick. I kind of feel like I'm misremembering it because, once again, I'm going through these dungeons not paying attention. Okay. Yeah, how did I forget this? Legitimately, how do you forget this? Honestly. I'm probably because I'm just not allowed to stop and look. So, all of this, I blanked out on it. Like, legitimately blanked out. I mean, obviously it's familiar. I know what this place is, but also just I never get to absorb it sometimes because, especially this is, I mean, level 90, even level 80, level 70 even. This stuff just sort of like goes by at breakneck. You don't get a chance to take it in because everybody's trying to get the dungeon done. Let's go. We're done here. Let's get this out of the way. I just need my daily. Nidhogg's Spiny Shock Shack. Yeah. I mean, yes, that's the less elegant name for this place, but you're not incorrect, Toaster. This is indeed Nidhogg's Spiny Shock Shack. Yes, correct. Oh, goodness, that's funny. Well said, my friend. I mean, just this place is dire, though. Whoa. Incredible looking. didn't really notice all these floating bits and bobs here. Like all this stuff. A lot of stuff. So, behold my stuff. That's what Nidhogg's like when you enter this place. Totally. But yeah, you're just sort of like charging along and wow, there's a whole dang section of runes just straight up spinning around out there. Why not? Dude. Alright. That's a thing. Shit, look at this. I never honest to goodness, never noticed this. All the other dragons, beautiful floating sky palaces. Nidhogg, that. Yeah, that's that's what Nidhogg be like. He's an angry boy. And going through Heaven's Word, you are given pretty good explanation why he's angry boy. Akfalai. I forget it. I think they actually did develop or create a full-on draconic language. Whee! Whee! Excuse me. Pardon me. Bit of a tickle in my throat there. Alright. Again, just something you go through. There's like gross webbing here because... But... it's all very unsettling, and yeah. I kind of appreciate how they sort of... I believe... I mean, this is an Eyrie, so, you know, dragons are birthed here. I kind of appreciate how it's not necessarily like... I guess I want to say it's not really pristine, right? The eggs and everything here is just... It's all very... Well... You know, it's appropriately biologic, for lack of a better word, and gross. Like, this looks deeply unsettling on purpose. Like, this is genuinely... Like, dragon eggs are probably really horrible. They're probably like gross crocodile eggs. Or, I don't want to dwell on it too much because ew, but you know, yeah, that's the point of this whole place is ew. You're literally brought here to see the ew. Oh, you're curious about how, what a dragon's roost looks like? What a dragon's eyrie looks like? Here you go. Enjoy the ew. Have fun. Now we are at the Eyrie Apex. I legitimately don't remember the boss. I don't remember this boss here. I don't remember the fights too much in this dungeon, to be very honest with you. Now we're kind of climbing these stairs. And I believe this is just sort of like cuts through a bunch of different ruins and stuff. Like the way to them is sort of like only opens up after you go through individual portions of the dungeon. You like clear fights and then stuff is just falling all around you. Like this place is crumbling. I think we came here to satisfy Estinian's murder addiction. Ah, yes, I knew what you're gonna say there. Yes, pretty sure that's why we're here. But yeah, this place just sort of like crumbles around you as you're going along, which is pretty impressive. And I don't know what these are, like, it's not necessarily explained what these crystal formations are all about. I mean, I think portions of the land's ether like crystallize when Bahamut rained hellfire down and everything. But then again, like this, it's hard. I don't know if the impacts traveled this far or not. I assume somebody who's way more lore savvy than I am has kind of like investigated this whole thing and pieced it all together. But just this place, I mean, These buildings are still standing just barely, so this whole locale, this entire tower, castle, fortress, whatever this is, like, it's pretty massive, even after whatever misery befell it. It's pretty impressive looking. And then, of course, Nidhogg, the final fight with Nidhogg itself. Okay. I think that is going to be that. Yeah, so like I said, I appreciate that this is probably not usual stuff to see in any stream, let alone a Final Fantasy XIV stream. But I just wanted to just appreciate. You don't get a chance to just sort of really take it all in when you're going through dungeons normally. And that feature is just nice to showcase. I just wanted to do that. So thank you very much for everybody for indulging me in that. I do hope you enjoyed your time here. And we are going to be back. Final Fantasy IV Tourism. Yes, perfect. Exactly right. Well said, Toaster Master. Okay, we got more streams coming up. The calendar is looking a little bit thin, but only by virtue of the fact that, like, MJ is still kind of, like, in the process of traveling during whatever she's doing. So there is going to be more. Do not worry. In the meantime, we do have some stuff lined up for you. On Friday, August 5th, and I remember to actually put the right month in this time. Friday, August 5th at 2 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be live with some Monster Hunter Rise. Followed later that same night at 8 p.m. Eastern by MJ as she plays some Adventure Quest 3D. Sunday, August 7th at 2 p.m. Eastern, it is CMA Live time once again. We are going to be checking out some more Chimera Land. It looks like the popular vote from this week is to beef up Chonk Honk, my magnificent round birdie boy. So that's going to be the task. We'll look at Chonk Honk! We'll do that at 2 o'clock on Sunday, August 7th, and then 2 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, August 10th. We are back at Final Fantasy XIV once again. Why? Because the Moonfire Fair summer event is going to be live then, and I absolutely have got to check that out. So I hope you join up for all of those, and thank you so very much for everybody for joining me today, whether you are watching live or on demand, and we also want to thank you for all of the support you provide in doing that, or by reading the site, or doing incredibly generous things like donating bits to the channel, subscribing to the channel, whitelisting the ads on the site, or if you're one of our amazing Patreon supporters, that poor crafter just exploded their craft. I'm sorry, my friend, my condolences. But again, if you're one of our amazing Patreon supporters, no matter what you do, top to bottom, you are the fuel that keeps Massively OP running. Thank you so very much for joining me. I hope to see you next time. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Bye! Chonk honk.